So I came in from Bolton because I went to work. I went to the radio station, yeah. And I literally jumped out. Well, I can't jump. Let me not lie, because I can't jump. You and I know that I can't jump. So I pushed myself out of the taxi. The taxi guy was the one that was carrying all my bags because, of course, I couldn't carry it because I'm telling you, I've been having pain in my shoulders and in my neck. So I couldn't carry anything. So the taxi guy was carrying the bags, running after me to bring everything to the house. And I literally did a flying tackle to through the seat here to come and land on this sofa and quickly send everything out. Ah, you see this talk show life is not easy. Oh. I need a team. I need I need a makeup artist, manager. This is a who is fully new. Oh, first of all, how are you people? Ron keeps telling me I should stop singing, that since we already have music that introduces the show, that I should stop singing, but I just can't help it. Welcome to the MungalowCroonings show. Yeah, it's 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 the MungalowCroonings show. You'll be like, this guy is not normal. Oh my days, and all that head shaking is out. Yeah, my head is like, who sent you message? Oof. Excuse me. You know, the UK has said that we can be walking around without mask and everything. Me, I don't follow them. Oh, I carry my visor, everything. I sanitize because unfortunately, I have not been able to, and I'm so ashamed to admit this, I've not been able to have my jab yet because I live alone and I have too many health complications to go and take the risk of taking the COVID vaccine and then get to the house and start to develop all kinds of things and not be able to call for an ambulance. Because, hey, everyone who has like variations of my condition has either ended up in hospital, had a stroke, all kinds of stuff. And they have families. Me, I not get anybody now, only me and myself. So after speaking with my doctor, we felt that it's best I go into hospital to have the vaccine so that then there'll be people around to observe, or at least if I can't go to hospital, maybe find someone to come and stay. I don't know why I've got. Anyways, let me start bringing people in because I can already see PK. Why am I even hailing you, Seth? I'm angry with you.
Don't be angry. Don't be angry. You have to be happy. You know.
You upsetting me.
Don't be angry. Pele oko yami.
You upset me.
Pele oko yami. Don't be angry.
Pet me more. Then I'll stop being angry.
Pele oko yami.
How are you?
I'm loving Lagos.
Do you know there's actually a pet name that somehow made it into my birth certificate?
Yeah.
Aduni.
Those are the names that we're given. How is that a pet name?
Oh, okay. Because my grandmother always calls me Aduni me Ade. That's what she always calls me. So I always thought it was a pet name until the day I actually looked into my birth certificate. I was like, whoa, Aduni is actually here. That's my name.
Yeah, it is your name. The names our grandparents give us are real names, not Abigail.
Oh yes. Abigail. No, that Aduni. In fact, when she used to call me that Aduni, I used to feel on top of the world. Like there was nothing I wanted I couldn't get.
Oh yeah, there's the Oriki name, right? That basically Tobatin Kinyo. Basically, it's almost like they pump you up. You go and do exploits.
Yeah, it's like your personal hype. Your personal hype.
Exactly. And a lot of people do not have a bearing because they don't have a personal hype. If they had a personal hype,
In fact, like yesterday, the day before yesterday, I was so ill. I was in so much pain. My mom called and I started to cry like a baby, like kind of
yeah,
cry. You know that ugly cry.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
was in so much pain. I was just kind of like, Mommy, I can't do this anymore. Mommy, I want you. I want me. I want my mommy. Like
Yeah.
by
Mm-hmm.
herself was crying for my mother. Hmm.
Yep.
Next thing
So
my mother
actually, what?
started calling me,
Yeah,
Omo Kiriko, Omo Shekiko. She was like, next thing I started laughing.
yeah.
I
They
was
call you
laughing and
from
sleeping at the same time.
they call you from your source. Yeah.
I was like, thank you, mommy.
There's,
After I
it,
hung up and I
yeah,
sat down, I had a good laugh at myself.
yeah.
That
It's it's a stuff.
hey God, you know that you actually are someone's mother. You're
You're
not crying
always,
for your own mother. Are
you're,
you okay?
you're always somebody's child. That's just the truth.
Yeah. I beg
Sometimes,
go. My mother speaking. And you know,
yeah,
like the relationship between my mother and myself has become so much better. So
yeah,
in fact, I adore my mother now, and I I mean I've always loved her, but I adore her now. Enjoy talking to
yeah,
my mom. I enjoy just being cuddled and
yeah,
everything, even though she's not near me, but she uses her words to wrap love around me,
yeah. They
and
there are
yes,
different
I felt good.
relationship levels in parenting, right? So I was just telling somebody that this weekend that well, yeah, it was this weekend that your daughter, you say she's basically how do you say it? How do you say pe on kegbe or something like that? I said you have to
Like
change.
she's having bad company.
Yes, but I said you have to change the way you interact with her. You can't be saying, "Oh, lenwe," you can't be saying this kind of things to her. Now you have to basically turn into a friend, the one that is not
Yeah.
surprised when they tell you strange things, so that you can actually get to the core of things bothering them, so that you can help give the first advice. Otherwise, you just shut them down, and then they go off to Delilah, and Delilah will give
Oh
them
yeah.
advice. Mm.
I don't know what's wrong with the logo. It's not working well today. Let me try and sit and get
Monye,
it
good to
right.
see you again.
Because I was yapped that what is the point of a logo and my head and my big head. The person actually said, your big head is always covering the logo.
Hello.
People are mean. People are mean.
Auntie, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hey
Yes,
Ron. I
Can
yes,
you
like
hear
people are mean. My big head kwa.
yes,
This my
yes,
me?
we
beautiful
can hear you.
chocolate head and they call it big head.
Well, it's the perspective. Your head is in front, the photo is behind. So anything
Eh,
Yeah.
but
closer to the
you could have
camera is
just
big.
said your head is covering thing. She
Yeah.
actually used big head.
For your logo to show, you need to change the layout.
Oga controller. Let me go and change the layout before Oga
Can
controller
you
will
see
not
your
talk.
logo? Can you
Shey,
see your
is it
logo now?
okay now, sir? Is it
Can
okay
you
now,
see
sir?
yourself? Wait,
Yes,
can
I
you
can
see
see
it?
myself, sir. I can
Are
see
you
myself,
happy
Now
sir.
I
now?
can
Are
hear.
you happy now?
Praise the Lord, though my head is no longer big.
Yeah. Always follow your technical instructions. It will do you well.
Yes, so, honestly, I'm telling you, I laughed at myself for a while after the phone call with my mom. But you know what? You see, those are the kind of things that we as Africans have that other people don't have anything as an equivalent for themselves, and therefore they will never understand the importance and the feeling of having a personal praise song. Is like a personal praise song that your family, your mother, your father says to you when you're distraught, when you've done something great, when you're feeling like like life is not worth living. Whatever circumstance is around, there's a way that they use that praise song to either lift you up, you know get you to balance yourself, or praise you and say, oh, well done, like. And I was feeling so awful, like I was just ill. And my mother started to sing this song to me, and I'm telling you, me that was sobbing, crying like a goat. Because anyway, I was equivalent to man. I'm telling you, I was crying like a goat. Next thing, I was smiling. And even though I was still like sniffing and everything, I was smiling. I was so happy. I was like, see, they don't get me.
Can I give
Ordinary
you,
Oriki, and they got me like that.
can I give you a suggestion? Can I give you a suggestion? Hmm?
Yeah.
In order in order to honor Mrs. Do very well, Mrs. Elizabeth do very well.
Yeah.
Listen to every instruction she has given you concerning the show. Do not
Hey,
deviate from it.
so I
Honor
knew
your
that was where
parents.
you were going.
And your days shall be long. Honor your parents. Listen to Mrs. Do.
I honor Mrs. Idowu, but this show will not be under her jurisdiction.
It's not. We are not saying just honor. That's all.
I honor her now. I honor her. Honestly, I do. But this show will not be under her jurisdiction. Hey, the law is in the house. The law.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. It's so good to see you. I'm sure you've met PK before,
Yes,
of course. And you know Monye, of course.
I think I know him. I'm not sure. He's suspicious. I
It's
don't really know
suspicious,
him.
huh? Very
Yeah,
suspicious.
like this.
Balabala. Is Shady
Exactly.
Balabala
He's
somehow.
Shady Balabala. God
Shady
bless you. It's not
Balabala.
flesh and blood that revealed it to you.
Don't bring bad memories
Okay.
for who you are.
Okay, so I don't want us to waste too much time because this gist there is juicy die. Although I'm hoping that a woman comes to rescue me from you, this man, because you, this man, you always gang up against me. I always feel
You told the
overwhelmed.
topic.
I thought it was what a man can do, a woman can do better.
Leave me, leave me. No, if it's that one, I am capable. I am enough for the three of you and more.
So
But
choose your hustle. You cannot be enough for us on one side and we are overwhelming you on the other side. Choose which one.
no, I'm just having headache. I'm having headache. I'm having headache right now. That's why.
Meanwhile, they are bullying her on Twitter.
Oh, they are bullying her. Well, I'm not saying I condone it, but I understand.
No, you see, the thing that Monye thinks they are bullying me, they try to, but again, I am more than able. In fact, PK, one of the main reason why I was trying to reach you that day was I wanted you to come and jump onto the Twitter thing. PK ran away.
I wanted you to come
Me? Sideways?
Yeah, your camera sideways so that you can get it.
The law, don't listen to him, Jare.
Doesn't it auto-rotate?
No, my phone doesn't auto-rotate.
Okay.
He likes to disturb people. Don't mind him.
Oh.
Okay. So because people were now abusing, people came on Twitter, they were now abusing themselves, thinking they were abusing me. So I now went to call PK that, you see, because last week PK accused me that I like to fight, that I enjoy fighting. And I was like, no, one thing that you ask Ron, I never start a fight, but I will finish.
But you end it.
I will finish. But I have been growing. Honestly, I have become burst again because in the past how many months, some people that I just looked at them like, look at this meat on top of rice. That if I just start with them, they will just go and die somewhere. And they were talking to me anyhow. But I was like, you know what? I am burst again, so I'm not going to say anything. But you see that Twitter one, I could not let it go. I balanced way. I went and got snack. Oh, in fact, at a point in time, one of the guys was just like, I leave you to God. I was like, oh, so now you want to leave me to God? Come back here. Oh. You're not going anywhere. So I wanted to call PK that PK, come and you see, this is the kind of fight me I like to fight when people just want to be stupid so that I can fight them. I don't start fight at all. But if you start stupid fight with me, I will finish it. And you know me. I have not met the person that has been able to finish me yet in any fight, especially when I know that I'm saying the right thing. You lie. We will finish it. So anyway, so that's why I was calling. So that's why I was calling you PK, because I wanted you to come and see the fight, but then you were not using me to do shakara, but I'm forgiving you, Sha, because you called me beautiful names. So anyways, let me not take too much of your time.
I can tell you why. It's because I'm in love in Lagos, so they are taking my time.
You're in love in Lagos. Tell the person in Lagos if they don't want to see problem.
In fact, I'm thinking I should just go back and bring my things home now. The pamper with them pamper me for Lagos. I never seen them before.
No, I'm not going to agree. Tell that woman to stop that nonsense.
But the woman is an ex-job.
Ha!
They just basically, you know, they took hospitality and they blew me out of the waters. Now I'm just fully hospitalized.
Ha!
Oh wow, nice.
See how they take hospital collect man from my hand, so.
You do realize that?
So I have
you do realize that?
What?
Okay.
Do I realize that what?
Carry on. No, I'm telling you that doesn't realize that I'll be the one to suffer this emotional
Abi, Ron is going to suffer all these things that you are doing.
No, ex-girl, they pamper me going. I mean, I cannot even lie. You know this kind of one that you want to like tell lie, then after I go.
Enough, thank you. We have heard. We don't want to hear anymore. Thank you. It have do. Hold your Titi, thank you so much for joining us. I beg better person. Thank you, Jare. Please put on your camera and your microphone. We don't want to hear from some people and all the nonsense hospital that they are in. Who cares?
The Titi will join you now.
I think keep quiet. I don't want to hear.
Hi, everyone. Sorry,
the Titi will be welcome. I'll be invited my ex-job.
So
the law, I beg. Please, are you looking for a wife?
Let me ask my wife first.
Which one is
Let me ask my wife. Let me ask my wife first.
Whether she wants to be Yale.
Mm-hmm.
If she needs additional help in the house, then she can approve.
So okay, now me be help, Abi, no problem. You go.
No, not you. Nah, Abi, they look for another husband, and she feels that I have married somebody here.
No, you have abandoned me now.
I told her how ex-job have pampered me, like they have spoiled me here.
Yes, so.
They use hospital to collect my husband from me. It is well,
who is that?
Okay, so anyways, let's not waste too much time because I'm loving this gist, but I have to remember that we are doing so. How to now? Okay, I'm just quickly updating the information. Okay, so let me tell you guys what happened. Let me tell you what.
Ron, he said I should turn my camera aside, but it turns me upside down.
Oh, because I'm surprised. It's supposed to give you a full screen if it's sideways, but I'm surprised this is how.
All right.
Okay, so can we go into the topic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple of days ago, I was watching a program called on Discovery Channel. It's called I Love a Mama's Boy. And in fact, I don't think I have shouted at my television as much as I shouted watching that program, because it at a point in time it became ridiculous. Like These boys are so wrapped up with their mothers. They go shopping with their moms. They have girlfriends, though. One even has like a wife or something, or a fiance. They go shopping with their mom. They go to manicure and pedicure with their mom. If they and the girlfriend make an agreement to go somewhere, but the mother says she wants to go somewhere, the boy will find a reason to dump the girlfriend and go with the mom. The mom is waxing the son's back. She's plucking hair from his nose. He's coloring her hair. Basically, and the man's father is still alive. Oh, he's still in the house. However, is they completely throw away the father, and it's the mom and the son that now have this almost couple relationship. And it took my mind back to when I was dating and I was engaged. I actually was engaged to a mama's boy, and man, you know when you are triggered. And then I was thinking about it, and I said, wait a minute, I have also been a daddy's girl. In fact, I was telling Ron this afternoon. He linked me up with someone. He wanted me and someone to date. And we started talking and everything. But the person was a bit on the unserious side. And I was like, look, if my father was here, this, that, my dad this, my dad that. And the guy was like, hey, madam, look, I am not your father. So stop comparing me and your dad together. We are not the same. And it made me stop in my tracks like, whoa, how many men have I chased away by comparing them with my dad? Because of course, in my eyes, my dad is the ultimate man. He was He-Man, Hulk Hogan, and everything all wrapped up in one. So yeah, let's talk about mama's boys and daddy's boys. How do we navigate them? How do we deal with this kind of relationship? So I'm opening the floor to all of you.
Okay. Okay. Let me start by saying this. It's a problem and it's not a problem at the same time, because you can look at it from many angles. But I'm going to try our attempt to go into the genesis of these situations. Most of the guys we see as mama's boys, as you described, are usually people. They don't just become somebody's. I'm hearing so much noise from somebody's background. Okay, it's not like they were born like that. You see, this thing starts from women. We have mothers who deliberately. I'll give you a classic example of somebody I know. You people might not know the person. You people don't know the person. Since the day he was born, his mom had always like mollycoddled him, like brought him. This guy was breastfed till he was like 3 years old. There was no winning. Everything was very close to him. I'm serious. Then each time the woman has issues with her husband, you find that she's always revealing information to the child, like, your dad did not pay your school fees, blah 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 blah. Which kind of useless father is this? Running the father down in the presence of the child. And we didn't even know that the guy was always handling his business, but the lady was like, the man gives her the money, then she hoards the money, then delays for a certain time. Then after a while, she'll start making noise that, your father is useless, he's irresponsible, he didn't drop money. And the guy is not even the talking type. He doesn't like noise. Once you start talking, he'll just take his car keys and leave the house. So the woman sowed the seed that the guy was irresponsible to the child. So this boy has always grown, and when the woman sets that stage, then she goes behind, uses the same money the father had provided for the upkeep of that boy, and comes like a savior, like your mother is the one taking care of you. You see, I'm the one making sure that you're alive and all that. So you see, over time, it became close. These things kept happening and happening until the guy's dad passed on. Now, when the guy married, it was only he married a strong-willed lady. He didn't marry an ordinary woman that he married a strong-willed wife. The wife and the mother started clashing. And then again, the mom was expecting the son to check the wife, like, check this your wife, or she's crossing the line and everything. For the first time in the guy's life, he has to open up and tell the boys, but you've always made me like this now. How do you want me to confront? I don't know how to confront women. I don't know how to challenge them. Me too, if anything happens, I'll just walk away. So that's just an instance. There are many, 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 many examples of how these things happen. I'm just giving you just one instance so that I'll give other people a chance to talk. Then the issue of when you see daddy's girls, now let me put a disclaimer. It's not in all cases, but in most cases, this is what happens. It always happens from sugar daddies who have daughters, who feel that because of the sins they are committing now, that their own daughters might go when they grow up, they'll start looking for sugar daddies to cater to their financial needs. So you see, they try to make up in their mind, they are making up for that fear. So you find them, anything the daughter ask for, they will just, if she wants the head of John the Baptist, the father will give. If you want the dad will make sure that the daughter is always catered to, just so that the fear of not seeing the daughter going out and chasing after old men. So, but I don't really see these as really, really bad, a really, really bad situation. These are things that can be redeemed if only the people involved know what is really going on. Like, if they can admit to themselves, yes, a problem. I'm too attached to if there's a lady, I'm too attached to my father. This thing you said about your boyfriend and your boyfriend and your boyfriend and your boyfriend and and you telling him about your father. It has happened in my own marriage before. When we started out, my wife was expecting certain things to happen according to her. It was happening in her father's house. I had to call her and say, listen, this is my house. I'm not even following my father's rule. I'm your new father here. So abandon all those glorious times you had. Let's create our own glorious times. Yeah, we're starting our own family now. So this is my house. We'll do things according to how we decide it. So it's not a big deal. You have to address it.
Well, the thing is, this is a question I want to ask, and then I'm going to let everybody speak. If you're used to a certain standard of living, a certain way of, like, it's just like, for you is the norm. Like me with my dad had no problems opening the door for me to get into a car, even though I was his child. He had no problems doing that. And then I go out on a date with a guy, and he goes into the car, and I'm standing by the door like, what's going to happen? And he's like, hey, get in the car. Like, for me, it took me a while to be like, really? You're not going to open? Because I was brought up with that, you're a princess, you're precious, you're taken care of. And for me, if a guy wouldn't do that, then am I precious in your sight the way I was precious in my father's sight? You understand what I'm trying to say? Wait, wait, that maybe that's a bit of an extreme example, but other things like, just, okay, my dad sees me struggling with, because I didn't know for a long time that I had thalassemia and all that stuff. So I struggled with washing dishes in hot water. And of course, we had to do our dishes in hot water. And my dad would see me struggling with it. And my dad would just come and take over. But then you will see some boys, I'm sorry, I call them boys, or some men, and you go over to their house and visit them. And they're like, hey, baby, auntie going to make us dinner. Okay, you want to be like, okay, let me make something. You now cook the dinner. He sits down, he eats. He's now waiting for you again to come and pack it, take it to the kitchen, and go and be watching. And he's sitting there watching TV, and you're like, because it's not what you are used to. You're like, what kind of life is this one? So, at what point is it a standard that you're just expecting that, look, this is the standard, this is the minimum that should happen for me? And when is it's just being, you're being spoiled? So those are the questions. Let me put back below.
Let me quickly answer the question. One, Abi,
before you answer, can other
every
people,
lady has
people add on before you
answer?
I
won't be long.
Okay.
You have to make up your mind what you want. One, do you want to continue? Do you want feminism or chivalry? Which one do you want? You can't have both.
Feminism feminism isn't outside of chivalry. I don't understand where.
No, no,
What
no, no,
kind
no,
of
no, no,
feminist books do you people read?
no,
What
no.
kind of
Choose
feminist
one.
books do you read?
There's toxic feminism. There is sensible feminism, and there is crazy feminism. So you choose one. Either
There's
way,
no
they don't go hand
feminism
in hand.
that is named any of this feminism that you're calling in the league in the tenets of feminism and in the history of it. There's no feminism according that is named any of these things that you're calling it. There's nothing like crazy feminism. There's nothing. So where
I
do
think
you get all these feminist ideas from?
the social media is inundated with these things. We know they see road again. This is what we see every
But
day. We don't
social
know
media
what
is
is
not a proper book. Oh, you know that.
who reads again.
Okay.
Everybody learns from the social media.
May I know, because I don't want to jump on a soapbox of feminism. So let me leave it. Oh yeah, June, you you came with your full chest to tell me that you are taking care of my husband. That you are the one taking care of PK. Don't worry, I'm coming for you later on. But oh yeah, add your thoughts. With your full chest. That's my friend. Continue. Stop.
Okay. Hi everyone. So
Hello.
I think the issue of daddy's girls and mommy's boys it's all an upbringing thing. I mean, I think we should learn as potential parents, or maybe okay, well, I'm a potential parent, but I'm sure every other person here has been a parent. Now there are things, there are responsibilities that each gender should have. Well, not gender per se, but the basic things that everyone should be able to do and not see anything so big about, like guys washing dishes. Like I'll take an example. My brother, if my brother cleans a house for you, I mean, we won't be girl self with a bow. So it's just doing, we just need to raise a generation of kids who have a sense of responsibility to certain things, who know that it's not strictly a woman's chore or a man's chore to wash the car or to clean up the house or to do dishes or do laundry, those kind of things. So that's just my take on it. I mean, for our generation, we've already, I think we've lost it already. I mean, there's no going back to where it is right now. That's the way I feel it is. But then I think we can do better for upcoming generations. That's just my take on it.
Okay, I thought we lost Titi. Titi, I'm coming to you. Titi, you need to put on either your camera, or yes, you need to put on your camera and your mic, because I can't add you on until you do that. I'm really sorry, love. Okay, PK, Mr. I am well fed in Lagos. Please, what's your own? I'm angry. Let me just but I will ignore that I'm angry. Oh yeah, continue.
When you find a daddy's girl,
Unfaithful husband.
when you find a daddy's girl, the tendency is that she's going to fall in love with somebody who reminds her of her daddy.
Mm-hmm.
So, which means that whoever she marries bears a very, very a whole lot of similar characteristics with what makes her daddy super to her, right? And so, the best way to navigate that really is just to basically, look at what the dad does, and you can use it to the advantage of both of you. So, for example, there is a way in which the father will communicate with the daughter that she will always listen if she's a daddy's girl. What that just tells me is that if you follow that same pattern, she will listen to me also if I'm married to a daddy's girl, right? So you just have a lot of examples that you can copy and extract the most value out of your partner, your spouse, your whatever you call it, right? If she's a daddy's girl, because you can see it, right? So the thing about the heart is that it just doesn't allow logical things to flow through. It's the reason why the small girl falls in love with the old man. And yet they're like, but look at all these other young buff guys. And no, it's that old man with the white bear she likes, right? Or sometimes it happens the other way around, right? The young guy truly does sometimes fall in love with the older woman who reminds him of his mother, right? So that actually does occur, although a lot of other times there are many other reasons why people partner with people for very different reasons. A lot of times has nothing to do with love, right? And sometimes actually because of those other reasons, they choose to add love to it so that basically it's basically a service they have to provide in order to get the other things that are really important to them. So you can use it to your advantage, what I'm trying to say. I know, yes, it can be very annoying. Then also the other thing is that if you are a jealous person, jealous type, jealous personality, not willing to share, you will not do well with a daddy's girl or a mommy's boy. So just imagine that any one of them marries somebody who basically everything has to be about them. You know, that's just not going to work because you now spend a lot of time trying to cut them off from the person they love the most. When you succeed in cutting them off from the person they love the most, you suddenly discover that you have lost their own deepest feelings because you've taken them away from their happy place. So I'll stop there.
Okay. Well, while I'm going to call on Titi. Titi, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm going to call on Titi, but I also want everyone to be thinking about this. Who is easier to manage, a daddy's girl or a mama's boy? Who is easier to be in a relationship with? So let's be thinking about that. So Titi, what are your thoughts, please?
Okay, so very interesting conversations here, and I'm learning a lot also. For me personally, I think one thing we as individuals need to take very important is self-discovery. So I feel before you decide who you want to hook up with or, discover who you want to spend the rest of your life with, you need to discover yourself and what your needs are. So me personally, I think I'm married to a mommy's boy. He's the only boy in the family of a girl of a family of 3 girls, and just him was a boy. So one of the things that got me attracted to him was because I saw how he respected his mother. I saw how he treated his sisters with respect, and that was one of the things I realized in life, that I wanted a man that would treat me with so much respect and would love me the way he loved his sisters and his mother. So, like I said, self-discovery, you need to understand who you are. If you're like an independent person you don't want any man that is a mommy's boy or somebody that sucks to you or somebody that needs your ideas and whatever decision he makes and all that, then a mommy's boy will not work for you or a mommy's girl will not work for you. But if you're that kind of person that is ready to, share your thoughts with people, get intimate with, whatever decision you make, then it might work. So self-discovery and knowing what you want is very important. Thank you.
Okay, now before we go to the law, I just want to throw out a few comments that people have put. So someone, Sally Osakwe Stanley said, you get to know if he's a mama's boy through how he tells you to do things like his mom. Then she also said everything that happens around him, he calls the mom. So he's always mommy this, mommy that. So the question is, okay, there's respecting your mom, there's treating the women in your life well, but then there's that codependency where you can't make any decision unless you run it by your mothers, even things that are between you and your spouse. So your spouse can never be confident that they can tell you something and to be between the two of you. Your mother must hear. So yeah, you tell your spouse, baby, I don't think I want to have any more babies, or the last pregnancy was hard. He goes to his mom, mom, my wife says she doesn't want to have any more children because the last pregnancy, is she the only woman? So now you've had that conversation between you and your spouse, but now it's become a 3-way conversation. Now some mama's boys are not only mama's boys, they're also their sisters' boys. So their sisters too have a say in everything. So they can't make a decision by themselves. It is beyond respecting. Is now they've almost become useless They can't make any decisions. They can't take any stand. I remember when I was engaged to this guy who was so much a mama's boy. We had already he had proposed. The mother was the one who got the engagement ring and everything. And then we were planning for the wedding. And every time in front of the mother, because at a point in time I started saying, okay, let's make this decision in front of your mom. So your mom knows that we've agreed that we are going to the florist, we've agreed we're going to the vicar, we've agreed we're going to find the church or whatever it is. We will make the decision. Guess what happens? So we'll say, okay, 10 o'clock. We've already called the florist. The florist said, be there 10 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to meet you at so and so for 9:30 so that you meet me and then we go together, 10 o'clock. I am there, 12 noon. Oga, where are you? Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't worry. Now, the florist is in Ikeja. I'm trying to use Nigeria places because most of us who are here are Nigerians. So the florist is in Ikeja. I'm coming from Egbeda side. He's coming from Ebute Meta, right? So two opposite ends. Then it's like, okay, where are you? He now tells me, oh, I'm in VI. How? That is even further off. What are you doing in VI? Oh, my mom said she wanted me to take her somewhere. She has 2 other sons, but it is you that she's insisting must take her to that place. When she was there, when we were making arrangements to meet up for 9:30 in the morning, and 12 noon, you are still in VI. And any tiny decision, what colors we wanted for our wedding, even my wedding dress, I had to put my foot down. I'm like, nope, I have a mother. My mother is not dead. Me and my mother can figure out my way, but it got too much. I can't do this. Certain things I can't do this because there is respecting your mom, and then there's just, what, I need a man, not a boy. And all your actions are showing me that you're still a boy, you're not a man, because you can't make decisions on your own. So those are the kind of things, those extremes. Now, going back to some of the comments, Gloria said, always consulting his mom before every decision, constantly seeking her approval and putting her opinion first in every issue. You see, this is a common thing. I know. She also said a daddy's girl is easier to deal with. A mama's boy can be a bit of a handful because, of course, everything has to be run by his mom. So it's just like, where do we go from here? So the law. Can you please tell us your thoughts on this, please?
Okay. First, I think a daddy's girl is easier to deal with than a mommy's boy, because a daddy's girl, in my opinion and experience, daddy's girls are more used to depending on other people, and usually their moms have tried to warn them and prepare them for things. But in our culture, boys, they rarely teach them to do anything. Then you now have a mommy's boy that everything is done for him. Then you go and marry that person. So you marry a husband and gain a child instantly first before your other children come about. It's crazy. But the thing is, as I think it was Titi that said, the boys, there are 2 versions of mommy's boys. Those that they value the opinion of the women in their lives, take care of their mom, their sisters, and those that are literally they have a symbiotic relationship or a parasitic relationship with their mom. I do not know which one is the parasite, the boy or the mom, but somehow they are one person in 2 bodies. That is why everything you discuss with your husband or your spouse gets told to the other person. The assumption is you married one person, but you actually married 2. Just that one lives somewhere else if she doesn't even live in the same house with you guys. So all in all, I think the girls are easier to manage, or they are easier to live with. Okay. Not to say that they are not a problem, but they are a lot easier to handle and deal with.
Can anyone hear me? Hello?
Yes, I think she's having maybe a network issue.
Okay. Somebody hasn't spoken yet, right? I can't see the names now. Is it Titi or who? Hello?
I have spoken. Titi has spoken.
Okay, so what do you have to? Okay, from both of you, what do you have to contribute from what the law has just said? Muyiwa has just contributed now.
Hello.
In fact, just show the familiar symptoms.
You see, my dad won't stress me like this. You see, that's the thing, Ron. My dad will never ever stress me like this. My dad will be like, my darling, I will fix it all. But you like to create problems for me.
Okay, let me
So,
rejoin that to what Muyiwa just said, our lawyer.
okay.
The thing is this: none of these situations are too bad that they can't be fixed. But let's be fair. I'll try and be fair a little bit. You see, it's not everybody that is born into leadership, whether it's a man or a woman. It's not everybody that understands the duty of being a husband or being a wife. For instance, there are guys who genuinely they didn't grow up around fathers or father figures. So you see, it's difficult to throw them under the bus because they don't know. Like Abi will always say, they don't know any better. Why do I say this? Even in a platoon, let's say in the military, you train everybody equally. They have the same exposure to the military training. At the end of the day, you still find out that not everybody has that command authority. Not everybody knows how to lead. You see,
I was hearing
PK,
you very well. Yeah.
yeah, I could hear him very well too. But PK, the law has actually said about men are more difficult to deal with than women. It's more difficult to handle the dynamics of a man having this almost dependent character with his mom or his sisters or his aunties than with a
Yeah.
girl and her dad, because it's like men sort of understand other men. So even though the dad might shakara you a bit and be like, so is it that wants to come and take my daughter, but he won't necessarily go out of his way to make your life miserable. But it's almost like the women in the lives of the men who are mama's
Yeah.
boys is
Yes.
like the women specifically deliberately aim to make the girlfriend, the wife, the fiance's life miserable. Like, you want to come and take my son? Well, I will show you who is the queen, who is the
That is
matriarch, who is
that is correct. That is correct because like you said, a dad loves his daughter. Actually, I think you're gonna have a lot more daddy's girl, almost across the board for anybody. For most ladies whose dads were there, or they even had a father figure, they end up becoming daddy's girl. That's almost like a given. But like you said, the beauty of it is that the man understands the need to step back when he needs to step back. He understands how he needs to help his daughter focus on the new man of her life. So you will find more that most men try to help. Worst case scenario is that the man is extremely rich and the daughter basically says, my husband doesn't have a job. And then, he tries to basically fit the guy into the company so that he has some revenue to take care of his home. However, you reverse that. Hey, the mother-in-law from hell, right?
exactly.
So basically, it's all for her. It's competition. She wants to make sure most of the time that those decisions come to her first, right? She just
Yeah.
wants to be in control of everything, And I don't know, maybe I've picked in my mind the extreme mother-in-law, or that's how it is across the board. Maybe you have a few people, if they like the husband, right, that their daughter has brought, then they will help. But then, yeah, otherwise, otherwise, they control things there.
And not just even the mom, even the sisters. And it doesn't matter whether it's older sister, younger sister. It's like they just do family meeting and decide. So how do we
There are
frustrate
some, there are some families that are very bad. There are some families that are very bad at accepting spouses generally. right? They are close mates, and they are just mean to anybody from outside coming to take any one of them.
I'm telling you, it's
So
like they do village meeting. I'll be like, so how do we touch on this one? And you're like, what did I do to you?
it's almost like
And it doesn't matter how much love you show the boy, they don't care. They just want to.
Because ideally in those kind of scenarios too, you're not supposed to be showing the boy love. You're supposed to show the person who has the power love, right? So when the mother has the law, has the power over the boy, you're actually supposed to walk yourself into the mother. And what I mean by that is you study the woman. She has her own love language. Usually, these kind of people like words of affirmation, or they like, you just study them and then you just lay it on them.
Up to them, Sha.
Yes, you lay it on them such that they are the ones. You see, they're the wise ones, right? They find out who the power broker there is, and they just enter them fully. That power broker is the one who now turn around and be defending you all in every family meeting. See, so that's the missing part that people don't understand. The power broker is looking for love. If you deliver the love, they will be on your side. The way they are jealously on their son's side, if you enter them, they will be on your side. They're the ones that will say, Nipo, she's not going anywhere. Right?
Okay.
But those are women who have entered the mother-in-law. They are the ones that, before you know, they cook one pot of vegetable soup. They are taking to mommy. They are the ones who get up on Sunday, not tell their husband, go and hang out with their mother-in-law. You right? They're the ones who are like helping mother-in-law. They are rubbing mother-in-law's feet, so that when mother-in-law comes and tells her son that your wife came, she rubbed my feet, she did this, the guy has just no option but to just like this person that loves who I love. And she has entered all of them like that. But modern women, they'll be like, no, it's me and you. Did your mother sign this thing? And then just make it worse.
No, but okay, what is a case where the guy doesn't really...
Then people will take sides, and they will not take your side.
What if it's a case where the guy initially was like, oh, this is my girl. Then he met another girl that's not making his eyes go twing, twing, twing. Yeah. And then he's now decided that the previous...
Now you're frozen.
Her magic. Everybody in the family is not loving her. This is my experience, or seeing other people. You can love on a guy's family and everything, but the day he says you are not the one, they can talk to their blue in the face. If he's pushed to the point where he eventually marries you, you will be miserable.
Well, so the thing is, there's I have a cousin that I'll say is mommy's boy. Right? He was mommy's boy. And so this is the type of, when I'm talking about mommy's boys, those kind of mother-in-laws, right? This is the person that is in my mind, the stereotype in my mind of this person. However, I saw the wife of my cousin enter into that whole relationship with her mother-in-law, such that she became, basically she became like a trusted person in the house. That's when you enter the power brokers and they accept you. Once they accept you, you're accepted within the family. It's still almost like animal kingdom, right? There are power brokers in every family. You have to appease them, actually, if you want to be happy. And if they're not happy, no matter how you think it's just you and your spouse, then they have the power to speak words to build or to tear down.
John, you look like you're in trouble. I don't know where to begin to deal with it. Can you quickly speak before I let Ron? Ron is moving, so I think he's back on air now. But John, from everything you've been hearing, what are the things running through your head? Like, is it worth hanging around with a mama's boy, especially the kind that he is so codependent on his mother? His mother is the one that picks up his laundry. She comes to his house to clean and cook, even though you are there. She's she's basically he's all like, he wakes up in the morning, she's the first person he talks to. He doesn't even turn to say good morning to you, who is in the same bed with him. You just hear, hello, mommy, good morning. How are you? Hope you slept well. And yeah, the same bed with the guy. He's calling his mom, and you're wondering, what is this? Because this is a question I always ask. Do mommy's boys think that you fell from the sky? Do they think that you don't have a parent that can be doing all these things? So what are your thoughts? John, has she frozen out of fear? Like, no, don't ask me this question. What's wrong with the internet today? I don't know what's wrong with it. John?
It's just messy.
It's a bit up and down. Yes, go on, please. PK.
Yep.
Is everything frozen on your end? It's frozen on my end.
It's just frozen on Jones' end. It's not frozen here. And then
okay, I'm back on. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Personally, I can't deal. I can't deal with a mama's boy. I can't. I'll just I don't know. I'll probably just get frustrated and run away from the whole thing. Cause no, me, I cannot deal. I beg. Me, I need plenty. I like plenty of attention. Then I know you not come and share the attention with your mom. I know. I agree. There's a part for your mom, but then at least he should try to have time for the other people in his life and consider them as people who are worthy of his attention as well. So if no, I don't know.
You won't rub the feet and go out on a breakfast thing with the mom.
The funny thing is, what's the guarantee that it would actually work? That's my issue. What's the guarantee that all the kissing of feet and early morning breakfast and everything would actually work? So it just depends on the dynamics I meet. If I don't know if any mommy's boy would ever be worth it for me, but if I eventually discover one who probably is, then I'll see if I can work out the dynamics of getting into the mother's good books. But apart from that, it's not just it for me at all.
That's actually a very good point. The law. So looking at what PK has said about, Ron is here. The law, I'll come to you. Let Ron, because I know Ron has been trying to speak, but his internet was back and forth. Ron, would you like to share your thoughts with us, please?
Yeah. My village people are just at it again. So I don't know. But I'm going to talk. I know they don't want to.
Because you refuse to treat me the way my daddy treats me. That's why.
Wait, I told you to choose one. Is it feminism or chivalry? I can do any of them.
And I'm asking you what kind of feminist story you're following. But they are not separate from each other.
You can't be okay. So, Kay said. Now, I agree with a lot of things he says in the sense that if you feel, in fact, I mentioned it. What topic was that? We had this episode where I mentioned we're talking about a family not accepting the other person. Then you humbling yourself to win over the other family. It's exactly what Ogake said, because in this sense, look at it like this. If you're a woman and you know that you come, in fact, most smart women have conquered using that pattern. They will just come, they first identify who the figureheads are in that family. They want to know the super uncle. They will evaluate the uncle is more influential than the father of the boy. Then when they find out, oh, okay, this is the important person, she will now eliminate the rest and focus on that one. Or if it's the mother, it's okay, this one is the one making all the decisions. Okay, what does she like to wear? Where does she like to go? All those kind of stuff before you know what's going on. Like he said, every weekend she's the one doing it now. Before you know what's happening, the guy does not have a say anymore. So then she's not dealing with. Okay, let me just round up by saying this. the women, why we all think the women are easy to manage, that these girls are easier to manage is this. Because she's under your, because now she's under, you're the one marrying her into your family. You have to prove your leadership role to overcome that her father, my daddy syndrome. So you have to do stuff. You have to, show yourself worthy for her to transfer that respect to you. And it's something doable. It's not like it's the end of the world. It's something that anybody can do if you only calm down and pay attention. Then for the mothers, for the mama's boys, just like Ogake's recipe should go a long way to solve the problem anyway. So I don't see it as a big deal.
Okay, well, that is a mama's boy that is really sort of, she's aware of the fact that, okay, my boy is not a boy anymore. He's becoming a man, or he's now a man. He has a woman in his life. So she is receptive to a woman trying to suck up to her, seeing her as the, power broker in the family. But there are some mamas who treat every girl around their son like, in fact, it's like hostile takeover. It's like they are the enemy. It's like they're carrying weapons of mass destruction, and like America to Iraq, they must be eliminated. You're like, nothing. And she would tell you to your face, I know you're trying to suck up to me, and I'm not impressed.
I will
Please give it.
allow wait, what to answer that.
So how do you deal with a mother who has made it point blank clear that I just don't want you anywhere near me or my son or anything? Go away.
You know something? There are some wars you will never win. There are some battles you will never win. Don't even bother fighting them.
Mm-hmm.
Once somebody has said, there's nothing you will do in this life, I will not like you, pack your load and
go.
There are many fish in the ocean. There are many sharks in the ocean. You don't need to kill yourself over one particular one. Tori Kini, what's that? Oh my Jesus. It is not even, there's no, I don't like you. And go. It's not hard.
That was a hard lesson to learn, because of course I wanted to do the whole Yoruba thing of she will accept me, if I just stay, if I humble myself, even if she insults me, even if she says all kinds of ridiculous things, I'll still humble myself. I mean, this woman, because then I was with NTA 2 Channel 5, so I was on television a lot. I had a program that was 2 hours long on network television, and I also was in several soaps on network television. So I was always on TV. So many times when we were at her house, I was on television, right? And we will sit down, we'll be talking, and the soap will come up or my program will come up, and this woman will say unfailingly every time to her son, I'm sitting there, these girls on television, that a lot of them are prostitutes. Ha! And the shocker is my guy will just be like, mommy. And I'm like,
when you're threatening to fight his mom or what?
No, but come on.
No,
you don't just go, mommy. No, you be like, mom, that's not where you're coming from. What?
No, I just wanted to understand where you're coming in from.
No, but you can say something like, mom, come on, that's unacceptable. She's sitting here. You're looking at, so are you saying my friend is a prostitute? And the crazy thing is, he was the one who drove me to rehearsals. He would drive me to rehearsals. He would stay throughout rehearsals. So he was always there. I was never alone with anybody by myself. And then my boss on the other program was a woman. So there was no way that I could even be doing a casting couch or whatever antics, because he was a woman. But I mean, he would sit there and she would say it virtually every week, and I'm like, dude, there has to come a point where you be like, Mom, this is unacceptable. This is someone's child. You can't be talking about someone's child like this. At least, even if you don't see me as anything useful, remember that I didn't fall from the sky. It's somebody that gave birth to me too. So why would you be saying things like that about me in my presence? So I just realized at a point in time that it was a waste of time.
See, they don't care. Let me give you an instance. I know someone that the wife's mother had been in their house with them almost as soon as they married. She literally lived there. Then the husband's mom wanted to come around. Like she literally came visiting, and the wife's mother was saying, all these women that won't stay in their houses, you don't know what they're coming to do in our house. Like literally, like everybody had to turn on, like, did you think it, or did you realize it escaped your mouth or something? Like,
did it fall or did it trip out of your mouth?
Like, you literally live in the house. That at this point, she had not gone to our own house in almost 18 months. Then somebody was there for 4 days, and she was complaining that people would not stay in their house. They don't know what they are doing.
No, everybody is going home, man. Everybody.
You know, so your house. One thing, when I was in university, I used to tell people, me and my mama's boy, like, not in the sense that we have a symbiotic relationship, but I know what my mom went through for me a lot of times. Like, we always had that connection. Like, even in secondary school, I'll just be like, visiting day, my mom is coming, and more often than not, my friend, go away, Joe, don't be jealous. So, do you understand? I'll tell my mom, Mom, where are you? Like, okay, my wife works in a different state than I do. So, Mommy, how far now? What are you doing? Why didn't you come? Like, what am I coming to do there? I beg, when your wife comes back, I will come. But I'm not coming when it's only like, but I'm your child now. Say that she dischilded me the day I married.
Dischilded you? I love that.
She dischilded me. I should go and find my own mother. Luckily, my mother-in-law took me in as I'm my own child. So if you hear my wife talking ahead, I was rechilded. Yes. So my wife tells me, your mother said you should do this. I tell her, your own mother said you should do this, and all like that. But as fate will have it, I have my daughter has wrapped me around her finger.
That was normal.
I'm sorry I've told them she's going to marry Jesus, but they're angry.
My dad was like this. All I have to do is like this. That was my dad.
My daughter has wrapped me around her finger. I'm finished.
I think every father who has a daughter or has daughters, because I don't think that I'm the only one who wraps my dad around her fingers. I think me and my sisters, like, we got our dad on lockdown. You know, because in fact our neighbors used to call me my dad's wife, because they're like, if we want to seek trouble, just go and bother that one. Her father would just go and cock gun and shoot somebody. So just leave her alone, no. Because they knew that you couldn't touch me with my dad being around, and him being in the military. He wasn't always at home. So when he came home, he always felt that need to be very, very overprotective, and everything. So you're in trouble. Yes, you definitely are in trouble. So John, back to you, because we've lost PK. So I just want to go back. So obviously there's some mama's boys that it seems like it's almost a total waste of time trying to even navigate. Like, you see the dynamic, you see, he takes you out on a date and you've just paid, and next thing he's on the phone and you're like, oh babe, what are you calling? Oh, I'm just telling my mom about our date. Okay, you're telling your mom, okay, and then mom, that place you said I should take her for dessert is closed. Where else do you suggest? So your mom has to tell you, okay. you know, and you start to look at little things, and whatever you say means nothing to him until his mom vetoes it. So he has a problem. You tell him, "Oh, babe, just do this, do that." I have to speak to my mom, and then he speaks to his mom, and his mom says exactly the same thing. Thank you, mom. You're the best, Mr. Man. Who did they tell you I dropped from the sky, or I don't have a parent that loves me? Because it got to a point with my ex that I had to ask him. I said, "Do you think I am hated in my house? Do you think that nobody loves mother behave? You behave as if I came from a loveless land, seeking you to be the only one to love me. So therefore, whatever treatment you hand out to me, I have to accept because, well, I don't have love where I'm going." And I start to ask, when you come to my house to meet my family, you are treated with the utmost respect. Utmost respect. In fact, at a point in time, my sibling started to run away anytime he came around because he will balance and be saying, "Hey, go and bring this." Hey, and I say, "Mr. Man, when I'm in the end, you better stop that nonsense." So I had to be like, leave my siblings alone. Stop sending them back and forth. The poor children want to sit down and watch television here. Hey, go and get me this, go and get me that. You know the road to the kitchen. Get up, use your legs, and go and get it yourself. So you come to a girl's house, you're treated with respect, you're loved, you're given attention, and that girl comes to your own home and she's treated like trash right under your nose, and your only response is, "Mommy, really?" And I'm supposed to think that that's a relationship that I want to go into? Run. Because run is like,
yeah. I always say this. I always say this is, if you are going to walk into a bad marriage, there are signs, there are telltale signs. And I keep saying, please, under no circumstances should you charge through a family that does not like you. I keep saying it. Love is not enough. It will not save you when the problem starts. When that fallout starts, that's when you understand that this your Walt Disney way of approach of relationship will not save you. A family that hates you from day one, especially if that hate is deeply rooted in dogma, there's no pleasing or anything you are going to do. It has to do with tribe or religion. Yeah, if you enter through it and you feel that the love that you and the guy you're sharing or you and the lady you're sharing will put you through, then please don't complain. Just manage the love from that time till you die. But to have a sane, clear head, you come, the guy is already showing you he's a mama's boy. You don't like mama's boy, but you say you love the boy. Then you still went ahead to marry the guy. Then later you come and complain that he's a mama's boy. To me, it's a sign of somebody who has psychiatric issues. The person is not normal. You made a decision. You took a marriage is. That's why they keep saying marriage is a contract. It's a lifetime contract. You have to view your options. You're coming, and don't let anybody stampede you into it. This thing is a lifetime thing. Forget that people are doing divorce and all this all around, trying to make it fashionable and appealing to divorce people. But either ways, it's not what people set up marriage. It's not, marriage was not set up for you to divorce. So if you know you don't want to divorce, why can't you just take your time, open your eyes, close your heart, open your ears, and watch? You know, you can tell when you just told me that the guy could not tell the mom anything. You know that when you marry him, that's what's going to happen. So why you
of course, this is why I bounce.
Contemplating itself. Why are you sitting down to say, "Oh, mom"? No, there's no "oh, mom" in the matter. It's can I cope with this or not? If you can't cope, go and find the other fish. It's easier to deal with a daddy's girl because in the case of marriage now, the woman now is submitting to your authority. It's up to you to build up that confidence, that respect that you cherish from you. Like have you say, be a good head, not a fish head. If you become a good head and she trusts you enough to respect you, then you win. But for mama's boys, it's different. If you see that this guy is not is way okay, now, there's another thing. Let's not be too harsh. There are some people who just get married, but they weren't prepared for it. Like these children who grew up around servants or helps or all those things, they don't know what to do when certain things occur. Okay, if it's a few times, maybe people need to make a decision. You are not sure, and you don't want to be seen as an idiot in the whole process. You can secretly go and ask, I beg, you enter toilet, mommy, this baby's pampers is full. What do I do? Do I use hot water and water, or do I use this what's the name of this napkin?
Wipes.
Wipes, baby wipes. What you can do that. Or a dinner, you're about to have a dinner, your wife is not at home, and these are important guests. You don't have to set up the table because you were not paying attention. Your sisters were the ones doing it in your father's house. So now you've come to a situation where you need to do something, and your wife is not there. Fine, mommy. Is the fork on the left side or the right side? Where do I put the napkin? It's fine. That is fine. But where I draw the line is when it becomes fundamental issues. It's true that some people, like before I was cut off by my village people, I was saying something about leadership. Because somebody is a man does not mean he's a good leader. It doesn't mean he's a good leader. It's not this might not be his fault or making. It might just be that he was just not around where he could learn leadership. Maybe it was just, I don't know. There are people like that. They can, if you can, back in the days again, me, I'm the Neanderthal person you keep calling me. Back in the days, there was a system for this. Before a woman gets married, a woman has to go through all this. You go through the women in your family. They are training you about how to relate to a man. That this is what men want. This is how you treat your man. They tell you everything before you step in. Then on the other side, the guy has the community training him. The men, his uncles, his older brothers, they come aside and say, don't do this in front of a woman, no. Don't cry in front of a woman, no. Don't let your emotions out because you won't respect. They were trained then. But today, there's nothing like that. Everybody just on the streets. I love you, you love me. Okay, let's go and buy white wedding cut and traditional wedding. That's it. What do you have to show? What do you have to offer? Nothing. You've not learned anything in your father's house. You've just come from street to university hostel. From university hostel, then you spotted with some boys. Then after spotted with some boys, you made money. Then only you started saying a series of girlfriends passed through your house. They were cooking, cleaning after you. What do you want that guy to offer? For goodness sake. He'll go back to his mom. Nothing. He's going to go back to his mom. But that's why the home is the fundamental. That's why I keep telling you, please, let's not throw away our culture. I know sometimes we go out and we start thinking everything is barbaric. But there are some positives. We can take out the good. There are some good things we can
check and balances.
Yeah, we have picked the ones. Whether you believe it or not, things are messed up today than they were in those days. Fact.
Well, I don't know how true that is because when you talk to people like my mother's generation, they tell you how bad things too were in their own time. So I don't know. Every generation thinks that their own generation is the worst.
No. You're getting it wrong. Every generation knows that their generation is the worst, that they had it the worst in this life. Nothing in this life has ever been this bad.
It's going like this. It's getting worse. The way the community was 50 years ago, 50 years is even too far. The way we operated in the 80s is totally different from the way things are happening now. Let's admit it. We can't keep running away from it and be listening to Western psychologists. Oh, don't touch a child. The child won't be confident again. Don't shout on this child when the child is around the friends. Madam, I went to a military school.
We already know that one doesn't apply in Africa now. We already know that one doesn't apply in Nigeria. You don't shout on a child in Nigeria. Because again, it's all about dynamics. Because think about it, the way that the kind of education the average Nigerian child gets, the kind of community that they grow on is completely different from the community in the West. So of course, if a Nigerian parent in the West is like, oh, we don't shout on our kids, we don't yell at them, we don't spank them, it is appropriate because of the environment they're in. But if they're in Nigeria and they don't have checks and balances, and they're just going, oh, we want to be like the West, and we're not going to shout on our child. Hey, apart from the fact that your child will be beaten thoroughly in school. Now that's the thing you refuse to give your child at home. It's the child's classmates that will give it.
No, Abi, in fairness to all that, let me throw in something. In fairness to all that, you see, raising of kids, they are kids by nature. You will never have to raise your voice or finger at them because those kids are very, very, very wonderfully obedient. Okay? Hey, before you even open your mouth, they know that needs to be done. They will do it. But there are also kids that they're he-goats. They're not willing to listen. I used to be part of that classification, but I'm wiser now. They don't listen. They don't listen. There's nothing you do. You need to use the rod on them. They don't listen. And this is the danger. While you are mollycoddling your child at home, saying, oh, this child, they must not raise the hand, they must not raise the finger, they must kiss him every time, I'll peck her every minute. Somebody else is not training his child. There's another child, his age mate, that has no parents to train. He's living in the streets.
Jaguda.
He's with dogs 247. He's already carrying weight. He's already doing thuggish things. What happens when that child and your own child meet? What happens? How does your child defend himself? That mollycoddling, the child that you've been mollycoddling, how does he defend himself from that talk?
Which is why I said background, because the possibility of meeting a Jaguda kid in the UK is a bit remote.
Very high, very high.
No, because again, it's all about the environment. So of course there are different boroughs. Like in London, there are borough of this, borough of that. And then of course in other places, like I don't live in London. So in the other places in the UK so you already know that if you are living with this radius, all the children are going to be butty. They are all going to be like, oh my God. And meanwhile, in another area, not maybe 3 streets away, you know that if you mistakenly enter that street, whatever you find, accept it. So
but you still meet at school. No matter how the school rules
and regulations. But that's why they form groups even in school. That's why they form groups even in school.
That's what I'm saying. There's no school in this planet. No matter the rules and regulations they try to enforce to protect kids, there are still bad kids in those schools who will inflict some wicked acts on their mates. You can't run away from. How does your child defend himself? This is my point. Look at Japan now. We're not even talking about beating up or torture. We're talking about kids committing suicide because they failed exams. They just commit suicide.
My mother will beat you back to life.
No. Why is it easy for a child to commit suicide? It is because you've already made this life so simple and so cute for the child. The first instance of challenge that child meets, that child cannot cope anymore. It's going to break. Sorry.
My mother will beat you back to life, then kill you. Like, are you mad?
I mean, Barrister, am I saying something out of the ordinary?
Nope.
Even back in the days, Barrister used to hold his own.
If I commit suicide, my mother will kill me.
I went to a secondary school that was horrific for me. Horrific. I know there are many people who are in that school and they're going, it was horrific. And I actually went home to my mother. I was like, if you send me back, I'm going to kill myself. And my mom had to sit down with me and be like, what is going on in that school that has brought you to this point where you're like, I will rather fight than go back. And when I told her what was going on, all it took was a simple letter from my mother. My mother wrote to the school, I was like, if I hear pim around my child again from this person, we are all going to be in problem. And it stopped. Well, it continued an indirect way, but it stopped, at least to a certain extent. Sorry, my alarm is just going off and I'm trying to switch it off. I hate this alarm so much. I have to just find a way to get rid of it. So it, the way that parents deal with children and everything. But again, I still hold that
I can join maybe
it's all about environment. Okay, so we've identified that mama's boys are difficult. They're more difficult than daddy's girls. We've identified that. We've identified some of the things that makes a boy, because it's a boy at the end of the day. The thing that what we identify in the person that makes us know that, oh, this is a mama's boy. This is not a man who is ready to be in a relationship. I personally think that no mama's boy should be in a relationship. You have no business being in a relationship with anybody if you're a mama's boy. Just stick with your mama. When you're ready to grow up, then you can start going into a relationship. You have no business. You have no business dragging someone's daughter through that mess. That's my person. So in fact, God forbid I jam another mama's boy, I'd be like, just quick
Abi,
advice, free of charge.
Abi,
I'm not going to charge you. Don't be in
Abi,
a relationship again.
Abi.
Yes.
You know that mama's boys and daddy's girls are the most oblivious people in this life.
They pass oblivious.
They are, in fact, the dead will know before they do. The blind, Stevie Wonder will look at, tell you this is a mama's boy, and they will turn back and say, where? Who is the person? Some will
You are
even complain that
horrible.
how can somebody be a mama's boy? That is wrong. Meanwhile, telling his mother everything or telling her father everything.
Don't get mama boy talking about.
Yes, complaining that it's a bad thing. Meanwhile, the people are looking like, are they punking us or something?
Exactly. Are we being punked right now because you are the real original first grade tier leader mama's boy? You do realize that, right?
The great grandmaster of mama's boys complaining about a new recruit. Very bad.
So John, because I want to go on to before you come on, there was something I was trying to get to. So okay, we've obviously gone to the other side of the point that I'm a mama's boy. How do you get a guy to recognize that you're not grown yet to be in a relationship? You are definitely not a grown man. You're still a boy. And therefore, and not do it in a nasty way, but do it in a way to ensure that, look, no, you can't be in a relationship. You're obviously not ready for this. You like the idea of being in a relationship, maybe because you've been hearing people saying, oh, you're not old enough to be in a relationship. But are you really old enough to be in a relationship? Are you grown enough?
Excuse me.
Because you can be old enough, but are you grown enough?
Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Continue.
It's not your responsibility to teach mama's boy or daddy's girl that you are mama's boy or daddy's girl.
You just flee for your life.
Thank you. At best is if you really feel that, okay, maybe they don't know. Sometimes you'll be smelling and you don't know that you're smelling. Or you're mad and you don't know that you're mad. Tell them, oh, by the way, your problem is omo mommy, omo daddy. That's your problem. Do you understand? But not that you are going to teach them, you have to love me. If they loved you enough, you'll not be in the situation. So it's not your job to teach anybody. Once you see advice, see, once you just realize this is a mama's boy or this is a daddy's girl, let Usain Bolt be your mentor. Take off. Do not wait. Okay. Let it not be that I did not advise anybody.
On a second thought, if you find yourself in that situation because of you followed your heart and you ended up with a mama's boy, the wisest thing to do is to connect to the source of power. Simple.
But what if the source of power is completely disinterested in you?
Why did you even marry him in the first place?
And now that is what we are trying to avoid. Now that's why we're having this conversation.
No. If they don't like you, don't bother. Stop. There's no. Listen, Walt Disney cannot solve this problem for you. Just step aside. This is marriage now. We're not joking.
Well, Disney cannot solve
they don't
it.
All this happily ever after. I love him, my Prince Charming, right night in shiny armor, and we love. It's not enough for marriage. I always say it. I know people don't like it when I say it, but I will just keep saying it. Hopefully, somebody will listen. It's
okay, Ron. Here's a question. You know, there are sleuth mamas, dadas. That when the girl comes into their house, because they have this overwhelming need for the community to see them have this big party for their kid. That my son too is married. Hey, when my son is talking Odogu, you know this. So they are focused on, oh, this girl has been brought into our house by our boy to be his bride, and we're going to be sweet and nice to her because we want to make sure that he ends in marriage. We've looked at her family line, we like it. They seem okay. They're not fantastic, but okay, they're passable. So you know, we will be nice and sweet to her, just so that we can have this wedding, this big wedding that we want, so that we can, you know, show off to everybody how rich we are. And then they get married. So the girl is completely oblivious to this. She doesn't know that she's not liked at all. She's thinking, oh, my mother-in-law is great, that kind of stuff. You know, the few times maybe when she had tried to reach out to her mother-in-law and somehow unexplainably the mother-in-law was not available, she just like, hey, it's normal. Maybe she was busy, you know. So the girl puts a lot of maybe that kind of thing to cover up a few things that just seem like, you know, but they don't seem like they hate me. They seem like I'm okay with them and all that. Then they get married, and then the mask comes off. It now becomes Unleash the Dragon. Unleash the Dragon. Hey! And the girl is like,
Wait, Abi, whether or not the family hates you or they love you, the moment you get married, I told you this how many episodes ago? The moment you say I do, in church or in church,
yes,
it's from the reception hall. The demon will not fall on the two of you.
Yeah.
The reality, your eyes will become clear. Fight. In fact, most people start fighting from the reception hall, but you won't know. They're just opening their teeth and dancing, but fights don't start already. You understand? That's why when you say marriage, it brings a kind of reality to you. Now, it is okay. It is normal. It's okay to experience shock. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit them there crying day and night? Oh, nobody loves me. I thought I was going to be loved forever. No. It's time for everybody to start working. It's marriage, for goodness sake. It's hard work. It's not easy. It's not a bed of... You see, I want to start my own cancel culture to stop all these people from trying to tell people, all these other people that I'm not supposed to say anything negative to, which you warned me about. I'm trying to say it as it is. I am not against people falling in love and all that. That's not my problem. My problem is stop misleading people into believing that everybody is going to walk through that path. No, it's better you are prepared for challenges, right? Than for you to prepare somebody for heaven, then the person gets in and sees hell. I expect every marriage counseling session should be about, okay, this is what can happen. This is, you know, just give them all the negatives. Place the cards on the table. Let them understand how tough and difficult it is. Then it will give you a sense of, you know, you have to go back home and think about it again. Because if you thought you were going to rush into the marriage, you have to now think, oh, so if I marry this person, oh, this man can cheat on me. This woman can cheat on me. It's not enough for us to divorce. You know, many things run through your head. For instance, I know that people have different mindsets. You can't change people's mindset. How I wish I had almighty power. Maybe God gave me power to determine vet those who are going to get married. I will never allow anybody who feels that there are people, there are men and women that once their partner cheats, it doesn't matter if they're married for 20 years, 10 years, 100 years, they just cannot see that person as a human being again. It's over.
They have no business being married.
Over. There's nothing you can do. They are so, this thing is so passionate. They are passionate about that hatred. This is my solution. If I interview somebody and I say, oh, what do you think about infidelity? I will never tolerate it. I just carry my red marker, just cross it. You're not ready. Go back. It's simple.
It's true, I agree, because marriage is a union of two forgivers. You have to be able to forgive.
It's not conditional. I don't know. It's because we kept tolerating different. And let me tell you what I think about Western social sciences. It's all about exploiting weaknesses. Don't shout on him. If you shout on him, he's going to grow up and become timid. If you touch him, he's going to go and he'll be afraid to talk in public. If you don't love her, she'll want to cheat. You're always looking for one weakness and magnify and amplify it and give an excuse to why the other person must do something to justify the perceived negative treatment. So I don't buy into that. Some I accept, but I believe that that's not a true science. I feel that it's a science of guesswork. That's the way I see it. So left for me, we need to prepare a generation of youth that, okay, if you want to get married, these are the things that are most likely to happen. These things are most likely to happen. Can you stand? Can you bear it? If you say no, okay, go back again. When you are mature enough, we can discuss it. We cannot keep telling people that it's okay. We cannot keep telling people that it's okay, and don't worry when you get into marriage if you cheat. No. We can't do that. Because he has set them up.
Before you continue, sorry, I just want to say a big thank you to the law. He's actually at work, so he's now trying to go home. So the law, thank you so much for spending time with us. Really, 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 really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So I'm not saying this to make people be scared of marriage, but I feel these discussions need to be heard. We need to have these discussions. We can't keep hiding and hoping that things will get better. People are not even wired to learn. There are some people that are unteachable. They're just not teachable. So how do you do? And you keep wondering why people just wake up one day and become deadbeats. They'll just become philanderers or do whatever they want to do. The next thing, the most convenient thing. That word, irreconcilable differences, people don't know it's a recent phenomenon. That thing is not more than 400 years old. Like, irreconcilable differences. Why are you divorcing? Irreconcilable.
400 years is not recent, Monye.
If you consider human existence, no, wait. If you consider marriage and human existence, it's recent. It's even more recent than the New Testament. If we are going by that line, it's more recent. So why am I saying this? We need to start being real. All this political correctness, niceties, they are not helping anybody. They're not helping anybody. As we speak now, there are people considering divorce as I talk to you. Thousands. They're just waiting for the right excuse.
Even I want to divorce myself from this house because I'm tired. I want somebody to come and clean it for me.
Okay, we'll sort it out later. So, I begin to wonder. Now we have people who boldly come out and tell you, yes, I'm a divorce lawyer. I'm a very successful divorce lawyer. And I'm thinking, hey, how would Judgment Day be like? Oh, we're in front of the
It's his job, which one is Judgment Day? Not being work.
It's not putting us under. He's putting us under now.
Look, he's only offering services to something that is already there.
No.
He's not the one.
Not all services are holy now.
Wait, a divorce lawyer does not go into people's houses and say, don't you think you should divorce today? I'm available. I can help you to divorce. No, the divorce lawyer is sitting in his office. He's people who are ready. And do you know that it's actually unethical for a divorce lawyer to automatically suggest divorce as the first option.
Good. I like what you just said now. But do you know that there are divorce lawyers who actually do it?
Then they are unethical.
Do you know that the first culture shock I had when I came to this country, like, was opening the newspaper and saying that in the back page of the newspaper, there's no other advert. Oh, the only advert I'm talking about newspapers this big. The whole back page is divorce lawyers. Nothing. No family. Wait, family and divorce lawyers. No business lawyers. No constitutional lawyers. No nothing.
I'm not making money now.
Dedicated to divorce. I was like, oh my goodness. So there are actually people
there are
who
too many mommy's boys out there in the atmosphere.
We need to talk about these things. Let's not shy away from it, because at the end of the day, the whole aim of this our meeting is for a better society. We need a better society.
Definitely.
Because we need to admit that things are going wrong, but we need to fix it. How do we fix it? Nobody's coming from heaven to fix anything for anybody. We are responsible for our actions.
I completely agree. And you know, the law, before he left, he said nobody is more oblivious of the fact that they're a mama's boy than a mama's boy. A mama's boy doesn't even know that they're a mama's boy. And when you're trying to point it out to them that you do realize that you're a mama's boy, they're like, no, I'm not. I'm my own man. That kind of thing.
But you're looking for trouble.
Because he's going to go and tell his mother that you called him a mama's boy. So you're already in trouble there. So this is the question. This is the question that is going to take us to the home run, right? So someone said earlier that, look, we as this generation, we need to do a better job of training our children. We need to do a better job of making them realize that the world doesn't evolve around them. I mean, of course, it's natural to want to make your kids believe that they're the most precious thing in the earth. And I'm glad that my dad made me realize that I'm the most precious girl in the world. It's giving me certain standards about myself, about my own sense of worth that nobody can take away from me. They can say whatever they want. I might feel a bit depressed, but the core of inside of me knows that, man, I am too precious. You know, I've always known I was a short person. Right from when I was growing up, my dad already knew that this one was not going to grow tall. This was going to be the shorty in our house. And my dad used to say something to me, say, anybody taller than you is too tall. He always used to say that to me, even though he was taller than me. Everybody in the house was taller than me. But he said it to boost my own, you know. So
that's where the Abi problem came from.
That's where the what?
And that's where the Abi problem came from. Okay, where's my notebook?
Better stop that nonsense. But this is the thing. When I met someone, a different culture, and the mom was like, nah. And they asked the mom, what is the reason? She was like, hey, there's several reasons. I like Abi. She's a very lovely girl, but I just don't want her to marry my son. Why? She's too short. Now, if I hadn't been gingered with the swagger of anybody taller than that, would have completely crushed me. But when I heard her say, I looked at the woman, I laughed inside my stomach. I was like, oh, God bless you. Because you see, mommy, what you don't understand is you're too tall. But I couldn't, you understand? So it's good for parents to put a sense of well-being, a sense of self-respect in their kids. But you also have to recognize that whoever they come in contact with is also someone's child. The respect you're demanding for your child, the respect that you're seeking for your child, okay, you might not demand it, but at least just extend it. Don't demoralize someone because you feel that, oh, we are better than her and she's not. You hear some mothers say well, I mean, really, from the other side of the tracks, this kind of gutter rats. Imagine calling. I mean, in the program I was watching, the boy's mom said to the girl, "You're a pig. just because she was from a different culture, and I think it's even the same religion but just different culture, and she called her a pig. And the son was just like, ma, that's not right, ma, don't I like, she had to really say some really vile things that the son was like, we're on television and you're saying all these things. If I don't take a stand, people are going to slaughter me in America. And he had to be like, shame on you, mom. How can you say that? Shame. Is this what you taught us? This is not what you taught us. And look at what you're doing. Shame, shame, shame. And then he walked out because he knew that if he did not stand up at that point in time, America would have devoured him. Like, so you're racist, you're this, you're that. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
wait,
Joanne,
because
can
I
you
want
say
to round up and
something?
then I'm just going to let you guys speak. Now, you know, when I was in the shops earlier today and I was telling about my friend that I saw whose sister passed and he had become a shell of himself. It actually got me thinking, because there are some mama's boys that they're so close to their mother that God, you know, when parents go the way of, parents at the end of the day, when their mother passes, they actually cannot cope with living, and they actually kill themselves because they can't imagine life without their mother. This guy, is it not Tom Ford, the guy who was the designer before Tom Ford? He did that. But one very famous, at least I know two designers who killed themselves when their mother died. They couldn't tolerate living again. Now, I'm thinking about this, my friend. His sister obviously is the strongest female person in his life, and she dies, and he himself stops living. And it's a very scary thing to think about. So even this is just for anybody who's watching. If you are with a mama's boy and you are still thinking, you know what, I will shall push my head and rumor and do it by force. I love him, and this. Think about, try and think beyond the romance and the we're together. No, no, no. Think about the real life things that happen. That this guy, the way he's so dependent on his mom, she's the first person he speaks to when he wakes up. She's the last person he talks to before he goes to bed. Whenever you guys go to visit their house, I actually know someone. I know someone. Anytime he and his wife goes to his mother's house, he sleeps in his mother's bed. He like, my mom, and he'll go and coil up beside her. He might start the night with his bride, his wife. The wife will just wake up in the middle and do like this. He has gone. He's in his mother's bed. Grown man with children. So when you see those kind of relationships, you need to think about, God forbid, that parent goes in the way of parents. What is this person going to become? Would this person actually be able to live? Would I be able to deal with whatever is left? Because they could die mentally, emotionally, physically with that parent. And then you're left with a shell of a person. So these are the things I think that when we're thinking about, relationships, I want to be with somebody, think about that too, because as Ron loves to point out, it's not Walt Disney, it's real life. So I'll hand it over to you guys and then we'll round off.
Okay,
So
Joanne.
I want John, because John's just been smiling. I want John to say something. Then Ron, you can round off for us.
I'm in school. I'm learning from my elders here.
Like, but what are your thoughts? What have you? Tell me what you the things that are processing in your head.
Okay, so in terms of just being a mama's boy and living your life that way, I mean, it doesn't tell well for the kind of kids you want to raise. Me, I'm always looking to the future. I mean, any defects I have had or my potential husband to be has had should be able to be corrected by both of us, and we should be aware of it. Now, a mama's boy might never know that he has this defect, and it just gives a sense. It just they keep operating in oblivion. they, they don't wake up to see what actually is happening. And is that what I want my kids to imbibe? Because actually kids go more with what they see than what they are taught. So I don't want my kids waking up and thinking it's all right to latch on to me all the days of their lives. And then probably when I pass, they can't even function well. Yeah, so it tells badly on my style of parenting. So I feel that we all have to make a conscious choice to not just live for ourselves, but for the next generation. That's just the way I see it.
That's deep. That's deep, sis. That's deep.
I said you didn't have anything to say.
I'm getting inclined to forgive you for the whole PK thing.
I'm sorry now, but you were not here now. We have to take care of him.
My husband. And you people want to use care to not take him from me. But we will talk later. Okay. So Ron. hey, I've tied Ojao. I have tied belts to fight after this. But yeah, Ron.
I was saying something earlier on. I was saying you were saying something about your kids respecting other people's space and all that. I'd already addressed an issue, and I'll have to tell you why I think that way. I remember when I was a child, there was this guy always harassing me at church. Not the church now. I was a little boy. So after church, this guy would just bully me. Then I'll keep it to myself. So one day I decided to tell my dad. So I complained the first time, he didn't listen. The second, then the third time, I'm like, you know what? After church, I want to see who this idiot is that is harassing my son. So after church, I just stood behind my dad. Then I walked into, I majestically walked and pointed to the guy. I said, who holding the message? My dad said, is it this person? I said, yes. Oh, just shook his head, my own son. See who is bullying you. He just left me there. I walked away. So when he got home, I had an earful of a man like you, boy like you was bullying you. I even thought it was somebody that is big. You mean this person was? How will you protect your younger ones? Because I'm the firstborn.
No, but that's the difference with Mrs. Idowu. Hey, you see my mother.
The very long lecture. It's a very long lecture. Now the thing is, physically, it is true that I should be able to tackle him. But just because I was just too dependent and my dad is attending the church, that guy's father was not a member of the church and he was not even anywhere around. So I was trying to take advantage that, okay, I have my dad to go and... I remember that because he didn't have a father figure in his own house, he didn't have any form of restriction or in character or behavior. He can decide to be an Agbero talk today. He can decide to be a... There's nothing inhibiting him. I was the one who had control at home. So it was when I reported him, maybe it was then the light bulb went off in my dad and like, no, I'm not going to do this. Like, how will I keep bailing him out? So it was after that incident and a series of other things, I got shipped off to military school. Then military school, then we saw bully became a nice word because it's how can you even say you're bullied at military school? It doesn't make sense. Bully. The whole concept of being in the military is bullying.
It's an entire bullying
idea. It's bullying somebody, you break the person down into pieces, then mold the person back into becoming a soldier. So that was the whole concept. So it was that experience taught me a lot of things.
Ron, we have a minute. One minute.
Quickly. In that culture, you are subjected to all kinds of cruelty. But at the same time, they are teaching you how to become a gentleman. So they are going to break you into pieces. Then they are going to mold you up again into this gentleman they want you to be. That's why we address ourselves as gentleman, because that is the objective. That's the whole purpose of everything. So let me not take up too much minutes.
Okay, well, honestly, I want to say a massive, massive, massive thank you to everyone who's tuned in to us, who's watched us. We thank you for your comments. A big and massive shout out to every single one. John, thank you so much. The Law, thank you. Of course, my darling PK. Hey, this people that want to thief you from me. We will not agree. Titi, also, thank you so much for joining. For everyone who's dropped a comment, for everyone who's put something out there, thank you so much. And of course, please putting out your comments, keep getting in touch with us. And till we do this again, same time, same place, right here for you. Take care and God bless. I forgot to say run again.